Hi guys, what are we going to do today? Today we are going to be making a journal. And we are going to be using Roycycle's new spring line. And this one is baby animals. So we're going to teach you this concept on how to use any of her papers, cut out images and pieces, make them layered. Let's get started. So I've taken this old book, and it's a little larger of a book, but you could use any size you want depending on the images you're going to use. And I wanted to make it just a little more childlike. So I've added fun things to the pages. But what we're going to do today is we're going to make a fun insert. What I'm going to do first is find a center. I want to glue 2 pages together to make it a little bit stronger. Glue 2 pages together, and this will be 1 page now. And I want 5 of these on the right and 5 of these on the left. So that will mean I will use 20 pages. I will glue them, so we have now 10 sections, 5 here, 5 here. So I am just going to use a decoupage medium, and I am going to glue 2 pages together, and it's just going to make it a little more stable, a little stronger for all the things that we're adding. Just in the middle of the book anywhere, and you're just going to pick a section you would like to do this. Well, you could do it at the beginning of the book if you would like. Bring it back. And it may get a little wrinkly, but when it's completely dry, you can also put parchment paper over the top and iron it flat. So this is all we're doing to glue the pages together. You're going to want 10 of these made. Now, if you want this to be even bigger in the whole book, then you would do more. So after you have all of these glued together, we're going to use large coffee filters. And these are larger ones that I had. So when you have your coffee filters, just lay them out flat. If you need to, you can press them to make them a little flatter. But when you put your decoupage medium on, it's probably going to flatten them out anyway. And I'm just going to put this closer to the top here, and I am going to decoupage this on. And I am just going to put this up here. And I'm going to let this dry. So these pages are all dry, and as you can see, 10 of these pages. And I'm doing 5 that will be on this side and 5 on this side. So what I've done is I've decoupaged the coffee filter on these 5 pages that I've glued together. The first 5 to the left. So you can see it's right here when you're looking at the book. It's on the left. And then the next one on the left. So, and there's none on this side. And so I have 5 of these done to my left when I'm looking at the center. Now the other 5 are going to be on the right of the page and nothing on the back, just the book page. And so I've done 5 of these, and you can see they are all on the right of the page. So when you get to the middle point, you're going to see there's one on the left and one on the right. So now we're going to get to the fun part. I'm going to be using one of Roycycle's new papers, and these are baby animals. I wanted this to be a little more childlike, this journal, so I want you to see some of these fun images that we are going to use. There was another one that we may use in there, and I've only used parts, and it was all these fun birds. So we have all these fun elements that we can use in this book. I'm just going to keep this in here so I know where my center mark is. So I'm going to start by cutting out some of these images, just quickly cutting some of them out. So I'm just going to be cutting these animals out, and then I'll decide which ones I want to use there. I've cut out all of the animals, and now I'm going to decide where I want to put them. So when you're looking at this, think of it this way. This is page 1, and the last one here is page 10. So 1 and 10 are the furthest to the back. And as you go forward, when we get to 5 and 6, that is going to be the center. So I am going to start with page 1 with a larger image, and I thought he would be really nice to use on here. He is nice and big. And I'm not worried about some of this extra. I may tear a little of it off, but most of it's going to get cut. I'm just going to tear a little bit here. And the extra at the bottom, I kind of like that there. So I am going to decoupage him right here. I am decoupaging over the coffee filter area. Now I'm going to let him dry. What I'm going to do, so I can move on, is I'm just going to set a pair of scissors there. So the page isn't actually touching the other page. And I'm going to start on page 10. So once again, this is the very back page. So I'm going to be using a larger image. Let's see what we have here. So I think I am going to put Mr. Duck on here. So this is page 10, so I have it on the right side on the coffee filter. You're wanting to put all of these on your coffee filters, so that'll give you another indication on which side of the page it should go on. So I'm going to let these two pages dry and then continue on. So I have this page and this page dry, and this is kind of the back, so I kind of know where I'm at. I am going to cut these two out, but I'm going to start with this large dot. Make sure you have your two pages go to about right here, but you can cut as much or as little out as you would like. And after you've seen this project completely done, it'll give you more of an idea of how much you would like to cut. So the bottom of this is going to still continually be attached. What I'm doing is cutting out the silhouette of the animal, and it's giving you almost like a pop-up. And you want to make sure this is anchored to your binding. So you can just either carefully cut in the inside edge. I think I'm just going to push this middle straight edge in here all the way down. And it might be a tad bit easier for me just to cut this with an X-Acto. If you don't have that there, you're going to cut through all your book pages. So you can just use small scissors, or you can use an X-Acto to do this. And if we want to trim or cut some more later, we can. I'm just getting my the basics down on this. Let's do the other side the same way. I am going to take my cute little raccoon here, and you're going to be flipping your book around quite often so you can cut it. Make sure you just have your one section that's 2 pages that are put together. So here we go. So I'm going to go to the center and start with smaller pieces. I'm just going to try to take a look here to see kind of what I'm thinking. Okay, so I'm going to take some smaller images, and you could lay all these out before you start so you kind of have a feel for what you're wanting to do. You're going to cut these first ones out, and you're going to see the space behind you, so it will make it easier. But I'm going to go down quite a bit further here. Since I have 5, this guy is more in the center. This guy is going to be a little bit more to the left. This next one I do will be up a little higher, but more to the right. Okay, so I'm going to decoupage him on. I'm going to put this cute little donkey right here, and it doesn't have to be as high or as low. They don't have to be absolutely symmetrical. So I'm going to let these two dry, and then we're going to cut them out. So you can use your heat gun to dry these if you want to get these dried a little quicker. But even when they're dry to the touch here, inside might be a little damp. So I am going to try to use scissors to cut these because I really don't want to rip. Make sure you only have one of your sections here because they are 2 sheets of paper. So make sure you grab those. I'm just going to cut around this little guy. So when you get done, you know, I may end up trimming more and doing more later. I'm just getting the bones of it together so I can see what I can see and where things are lined up. Then you'll also be adding more embellishments and things to your page afterward. Now I think that would be really cute here. Let's see what else we've got. And maybe, this is kind of big, but if it's, I think that would be very cute right there. Now see how when you're starting in the center, you can see what's cut out and where you can put things. Okay, I'm going to decoupage these pieces down. So I'm going to cut around these guys right here. Okay, so can you see how this is coming out? And I'm just going to keep layering these, and here's my big guy back here. I'm going to cut this one out next. So I'm going to dry these real quick, and then I'm going to cut these two out. I think these ducks would be really cute here. What do you guys think? I think this is cute. So I'm going to put the little ducks there first to start, and then we will find another one to put on the other side. And we're going to glue these down and do the same with the other side. See, I think this is coming out really nicely. So I'm going to put this here. Let's look at the last one. He's over there, and I think that will be just fine. Okay, so let's glue this down here. Decoupage him down here. I'm going to dry this. So this is my fourth. I'm going to cut this guy out. And I'm going to do this to both sides. Okay, do I have 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can see how we can see all of these layers. Now we're going to do a little finishing up, and I'll show you how we will do a little more embellishing, but isn't this fun? So we've got our pages done here, and we are going to end up doing some embellishing, adding some pockets so it lifts them a little, and you will really see each of the elements. I'm also going to use some of these embellishments that I made using coffee filters and decoupage paper. So I'm going to show you this real quick, and we're going to add this to our book. So I have my coffee filter, and I know it's white on white. Now you could even use a tissue paper if you'd like a very thin tissue. And I am just going to stamp this. And you could stamp this with any background, any texture stamp, or not even stamp it at all if you really don't want to. So what I'm going to do next, I am going to use a decoupage medium in this plastic. And this is heavier than, it's a little stiffer plastic. It's heavier than like a saran wrap. You want something that's kind of stiff. And to start, what I'm going to do is lay a layer. And I am going to lay this down on top of this decoupage medium. I'm going to put another layer of decoupage medium over the top. And let's get a fun image. I think I'm going to just rip this a little bit. I'm adding more decoupage medium, and I am going to add my little bunny to the top of this. And this is from that same paper with the baby animals from Roycycle. I'm going to put a nice coat, and we're going to let this dry. And by the time we're done, you'll see how cool this is. You literally, when it's completely dry, you'll literally go like this, peel this up, and then you get something really fun like this. It's opaque, but you can add pieces to it, and it's really, really cool. So I also found that if you might want to move your edges up, whether you're using a coffee filter or tissue paper, just kind of, I mean, I want it flat, but I want it kind of scrunched up, because then when it dries, it's much easier to get off. So I'm just pressing with my brush a little bit. And we're just going to put this aside, let it dry, and we'll see the magic later. So these were the two that I already had done. So I am going to put them on the front of these pages. I thought this would be fun. And these were the birds. And trim some of this off. I think I'll put this here. Thing I think I'm going to do is do a little bit of distressing, and I'm using my vintage photo oxide, and I am going to go over some of these pages. So make sure all your pages and your paper's dry, and be careful when you're going around these. You don't want to tear these fun images. I'm going to use a little bit of the vintage textures on these too. I'm going to use a little bit of my vintage textures, and I am literally just going to go over all of it. I just like this. I think I'm going to add a couple little pockets, and after that you could add whatever you would love to yours. But I think, like right here, I'm going to use some of my, I have these double stick tape foam. It's a very thin foam, but it's double stick, and it's kind of nice. So I'm going to use some of these fun cards I have, and I am going to make some fun pockets. So I'm just doing some embellishment. I'm just going to do a little bit here, and then I'm going to let you guys can just play. If you do this, and you can come up with what you'd like, and I'll show you some other ideas I had for embellishing that I've already done, and it just gives you an idea. But now I think I will add, I think it'd be fun. I have a fun pocket here that I can add to this. And as you're going to see, it's going to give it a little lift, and the more I add things to the back or the front of these, gives me a little more lift, and it separates these a little more, and you can even see your animals a little closer. Here's a fun piece of a tab index card, and this might be cute. I'm just going to put something down here at the bottom, and maybe this one side. So you can add any embellishments you'd like, and just come up with whatever else you would like to add that coordinates with your own journal. We just hope that you had fun with this idea with these layers, where it feels like it's very 3D and you can see all of your friends here. So this is the coffee filter with the bunny that we had decoupaged and stamped and glued to the plastic. So it's dry. It's probably a little bit tacky. If you let it dry overnight, you're probably the best. But I'm just going to show you, after I've squished those edges, you can carefully pick this up. Look at that. Is that like so cool? And then what I'm going to do is just pull this excess off the edges. Just the way it's come out is, I think, amazing. You could add it to anything. It's more durable. It almost feels like you've made a little vinyl transfer here, or a little vinyl piece that will stay nice and tight. And we could add this to one of our pages. So I hope you guys enjoyed this project. You can see we had added a few more embellishments to the page, but you could do watercolor behind these pages and add other embellishments, pockets, things that you're going to be putting in journal tabs. And I hope you guys give this a try also. It's very, very similar with the coffee filter, but we're just doing it on a coffee filter, not on a page. So this was really, really fun, and it makes it much more sturdy. And here is another one we've done that gives you an idea if you want more color, depending on which papers you're using. You can come up with some other really fun ways to embellish your books with Roycycle paper. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you give us a try, but whatever you do, have fun.